Hey, this is Alex Miceli, and this is my one take. Weather is dominating golf all over the world. British Masters, Byron Nelson. I mean, did you see those downpours at the Byron Nelson? How the heck could they ever get that place ready to go? But they did, and Sung Kang was the winner. Brooks Koepka played great. Even though he didn't win, he's clearly one of the guys you're going to have to think about this week at the PGA Championship at Bethpage. Tommy Fleetwood played pretty well at the British Masters, even though he was sick. So I like a lot of things I've seen in the last week, like Tommy Fleetwood showing up at Bethpage. I certainly like Brooks Koepka. Jordan Spieth said he kind of turned the corner. I ain't turning no corner until I see him play well under pressure, and I haven't seen that for a long, long time. So even though he's got a resume and a great resume in Jordan Spieth, until I see him now under pressure, under the gun, showing up, I'm not buying anything about Jordan Spieth, even though he's a great guy. It doesn't matter if you're a great guy. It's the PGA Tour. You got to play well. You got to win. The only way you win is by playing well. Jordan Spieth has not done that. So even though weather is going to dominate probably at Bethpage, weather forecast looks horrible up until the weekend. What's it going to be like in Pine Needles? And you ask me, why do I care about Pine Needles? I care about Pine Needles because the U.S. Women's Senior Open is going to be there. And there's a lot of great players. But the one that kind of, I don't know, captures the imagination is Joanne Carner. She turned 80 in April. That's right, 8-0, and she's playing in the tournament. Now, she shot a 79 last year at Chicago Golf Club to shoot her age. I don't know if she can break 80 this year at a course that's a little over 6,000 yards, but what I do know is are you serious? 80 years old? I can't get past that. The 80-year-old that's going to compete in a championship. And it's not like she's competing against a bunch of duds. There's some really good players over 50 on the women's tour. 80 years old. Just think about that for a second. I just hope I'm playing golf at 8 years old. I hope I can hold a club when I'm 80. I mean, forget about the fact that I can be competitive. So this weekend I was looking at some stats on the NBA, just oddly finding these stats. And they were talking about three-pointers in the NBA have increased 341% from 1980 to 2019. 341%. So I'm like, okay, is there anything that may equate in golf? I mean, there's no particular apples to apples or oranges thing. And then I looked and I said, well, let's look at scoring average. So I looked at scoring average in the PGA Tour, and here I have it written down right here. 72.59 on tour in 1980 was the average. 72.59. Now you got to remember, equipment wasn't that different from now it is, but back then the equipment was pretty much the same. We're looking at, steel shafts, but we're looking at wood heads. We're not looking at, the Pro V1 ball. We're looking at a Bellata ball. In 2000, it went from 72.59 to 71.42. Not a big change. And then in 2019 so far, it's gone to 70.90. So you factor in technology, physicality of the players. In over 39 years, the stroke average on the PGA Tour has only changed 1.69 strokes. Well, that's pretty bizarre. We keep talking about all these concerns about golf and where it's going and the distance and the this and the that and everything else. And are you telling me in 39 years the difference is 1.69 strokes? That's it? Tour average? That's it? So maybe we're worried about the wrong things. Maybe golf isn't in such a bad place. Maybe we shouldn't be so worried about when we start seeing reports about how everything's wrong and crazy and screwy and we need to fix it. Maybe we don't need to fix it. Maybe the PGA Tour, professional golf, is just fine as it is. A couple other quick things. Premier League, the Man City edged out Liverpool. Not much that I follow, but still, big thing. Premier League and Man City twice in a row, big deal. But the thing I like the most is that they got the old trapdoor feature, which is basically relegate teams when they don't play well. How many people would like to see a couple teams, maybe in the NFL, the NBA, maybe players in golf actually, be relegated because they're not playing well? I don't want to watch that anymore. They're not very good. Let them go down, get their game together, and bring it back up. I like that idea. One last thing, former Ryder Cup captain Jim Furyk started the season on the world ranking at 223. This week, cracked the top 50. Now, basically, when Ryder Cup captains are done being Ryder Cup captains, their game is not very good. I can think of a couple guys that had maybe some flashes. Tom Lehman is one that I can think of, but their game isn't very good. Jim Furyk going from 223 to 50 in the world, and probably is not stopping there. Tomorrow I'll have a special on the PGA Championship and my 3 picks for who's going to play well at Bethpage. Check it out in Wednesday's morning read. Thank you very much for watching today. Looking forward to see you down the road.
It's Alex Miceli from the Buffalo Studios, and this has been One Take.